Judy here at URE Farm. I'm headed to the garden to put some of these plants in the garden today. They've grown very well for me, and it's a warm day about the third week in March, and it's time in central North Carolina to start putting plants in the garden. Though I will have to watch out for frost and maybe protect them some, but it's time, they're ready, and I'm going to put them in today. And I want to take you along and show you how good no-till works again. So come with me so I can show you the advantages. I had turnips growing here last fall, and they didn't finish up soon enough to plant a cover crop in this area. So when they were finished, I just covered the area with leaves so the soil would be protected through the winter. So you can see how moist and crumbly the soil is. No need for tilling. The soil's already loose and in good shape. And we can see an earthworm there, so we've got some earthworm activity, and that's good. I've got compost here from the pile that I built last fall. So I'm going to put some of that at each spot. I did get this pile to heat up to about 130 degrees. And after it finished working and cooled down some, then earthworms have come into this compost pile too. So this pile was built with leaves and goat manure. You see those earthworms in there, I think. That's a good thing. You can see the lettuce plants have grown well, and they're ready to go in the garden. This is iceberg lettuce. Some people advise for health purposes not to use iceberg lettuce, to use something that's more green. But I like iceberg, so I'm growing that. You can see that the plant's rooted well, but it's not rooted so much that it's root bound. So this is just the right point for planting. Another earthworm. Okay, I've got the iceberg lettuce planted, and now I have this Savoy cabbage that I'm going to plant. Okay, I've planted the green Savoy cabbage. Now I have these Savoy, another kind, that will be red on the outside where the sun hits the leaves, but under that will be very tender green Savoy cabbage. And these cabbages, Savoy makes a good sauerkraut. Kimchi or cortito or just southern sauerkraut. It works really well for all three of those. You can see that these plants are not tall and spindly like some of the plants that you're able to buy at the garden centers. And the main reason for that is that I don't have to crowd my plants. I'm just growing a few for us so I can take better care of them than people that are growing thousands for sales. Okay, now this little bed is planted. Should have a good chance to grow and make more greens than Larry and I can possibly eat. Okay, this is the day after I planted this bed of cabbage and lettuce, and I wanted you to see that one of my plants is already missing, and you can see there's a deep hole in the ground right where the plant was. So my guess is that a vole came up out of the ground and ate that plant, which is not so bad if they don't eat lots of others. There's always challenges, so we'll wait and see what happens. Well, you can see that the entire garden is green. We have life everywhere, and that's what we want, something always growing in the garden as much as possible. And if not possible, then I've covered with leaves to protect the soil. Now this is going to be our potato garden for this year, and in it I have cut the cover crop down one time, and when I cut it down, in the rows where I'm going to plant the potatoes, I've covered with a ground cover to help terminate the cover crop and to warm the soil. So next week is the last week in March, and that's when I want to plant my potatoes. So I plan to do another video on that. So stay tuned, come along to learn what we're doing here, and hopefully you'll learn something, and you may have something to share with us that will help us. We can all learn from each other. That's the idea. Nobody knows it all. So I just wish you happy gardening. Get out there and plant something. When you have failures, as we all do, just start again and work it out and learn from it and keep going. Thanks for watching.